Do you know that colic affects up to 1 in 4 newborn babies? It's nothing new. If you're a parent with a colicky baby, you've probably heard it a dozen times. Don't worry, they'll grow out of it. But what if that well-meaning advice is actually preventing your child from getting the help they need? What if your baby's constant crying, arching back, and sleepless nights aren't just something to endure, but rather their body trying to tell you something important about their nervous system? The truth is, babies don't simply grow out of colic. And today, we're going to explain why this matters so much for your child's long-term health and development. So if you're an exhausted parent of a colicky baby who has tried everything, and when I say everything, you have tried the diet changes, the probiotics, the colic drops, and yet you still haven't found that lasting relief you're searching for. If that's you, then you are going to want to watch this video. So don't go anywhere, and in fact, share this video with friends who are in a similar situation, because today we're going to reveal a surprising connection between birth trauma, nervous system dysfunction, and colic, and why addressing these root causes early can prevent years of chronic health challenges for your child. But before we dive into it, let me tell you about Baby Bindi. Before finding neurologically focused chiropractic care, Bindi struggled with severe colic, reflux, and difficulty sleeping. She would cry nonstop during car rides, was constantly irritable, and showed classic signs of distress like stiffening and arching her back. Her mom felt completely overwhelmed and helpless. But here's where it gets interesting. After beginning consistent care that focused on her nervous system, everything changed. In fact, her mom reported she is content in the car and sleeps like an infant should. Her colic is long gone. She is such a happy baby and is now progressing and growing into more developmental motor milestones that would have never happened before. She is a completely different baby, and we are so very grateful. That is such an amazing story, and it helps us better understand the science behind the real root cause of colic. You see, colic isn't just about digestive discomfort. It's a sign of deeper neurological stress and dysfunction that starts very early in life. This stress typically begins during pregnancy or birth, especially with interventions like C-sections, forceps, or vacuum extraction, because of the stress it places upon the nervous system. So when we see a baby arching their back and stiffening their neck during crying episodes, they're actually showing us signs of neurospinal tension and nervous system stress that the body is trying to release, but is having trouble doing so. But as we mentioned, it stems from a trauma suffered during birth. So let's talk about the birth trauma connection that leads to colic. And these start with things such as physical interventions during birth, which can create significant pressure on an infant's delicate upper neck and brainstem area. This area houses the vagus nerve, which is the master controller of digestion, sleep, and emotional regulation and immune function. When birth trauma creates tension and misalignment, or what we call subluxation, it disrupts normal vagus nerve function, which alters other functions in the body. But this still doesn't fully answer the question as to why babies won't just grow out of it. And this is why we are going to clarify that reason right now. The same neurological dysfunction causing colic also affects other crucial developmental processes. So without proper care, colicky babies often progress to having recurring ear infections, respiratory issues, sensory processing challenges, sleep difficulties, digestive problems, and emotional regulation struggles. Adding to that, each round of antibiotics or medications can further disrupt the gut-brain connection, which creates a cycle of chronic health challenges. However, we still need to understand one thing before we are done, and that is the role of the nervous system and how it relates to colic. Your baby's digestive system is completely controlled by their autonomic nervous system. So what happens is that subluxation creates sympathetic nervous system dominance, which is the fight or flight stress response, which directly impacts digestion, motility, sleep patterns, immune function, overall comfort, and contentment. This explains why traditional colic care plans focus only on digestion often fall short. Well, if they fall short, then how do we find that neurological stress in a newborn here at Crossroads Chiropractic? We use specific technology called Insight Scan technology. More specifically, we use 2 out of the 3 scans that we have on babies. The first is heart rate variability, and the second is thermography. It's these scans that we have that can show us where your newborn stress is within their brain and body. To help explain this a little further, let's take a look here at Bindi's scans. Now, these scans, the first one here is the thermal scan. And the areas we want to focus on with this one are right up here at the top. So right up at C1, C2, C3, that's where the brainstem sits. That's where the vagus nerve comes from. And when we see this scan light up like this in the upper neck area, this is where there is a lot of stress trapped within that nervous system, creating imbalance. And when we have that stress stuck up here, we are going to see this affect things such as sleep, comfort, heating, reflux, digestion. And you're probably wondering, well, how does that actually affect digestion? Well, that same area right up here, this is, like I said earlier, is where the vagus nerve comes from, and it travels all the way down. It's called the wandering nerve for a reason. It goes from the brainstem down to the digestive system. And if we have stress on that vagus nerve, it will affect that digestion. It will affect that reflux. It will affect the baby's ability to eat. It will affect their ability to sleep. And so we have to release that stress. But this is only part of the picture, right? If we take a look at her HRV here, she's this white dot. Ideally, we want to be up here in the green. What we're seeing with Bindi's scans here is the fact that her nervous system is extremely worn out, right? And so when we say extremely worn out, we are looking at where that white dot is in relation to that. And when we fall below this line right here, we're entering into neurological exhaustion. And so Bindi is already starting off highly exhausted because her nervous system was imbalanced at first, and then that led to an overcompensation leading to it wearing out. And so when we see scans like this on babies, we begin to understand why those issues are persisting, but not only that, where it's all stemming from and why. And now we have a better idea of how to address it. And so as we continue on here with everything we've talked about, right, we can fully understand just how important the nervous system is, and more specifically, how we use these scans. And that now there's some good news. And that good news is that gentle, specific, neurologically focused chiropractic care can help restore the stored tension and restore proper nervous system function. Just like with Baby Bindi, we see transformation every day in our office. Babies who go from constant crying to peaceful contentment, from sleepless nights to restful sleep, from digestive distress to comfortable feeding. So if you're tired of being told to wait it out while watching your baby struggle, it's time to try a different approach. Because at Crossroads Chiropractic, we specialize in helping colicky babies and their exhausted parents find lasting relief through gentle, safe, and effective care that addresses the root cause of their discomfort. So take the first step toward helping your baby find relief by scheduling a neurological insight scan with RT today. To learn more, visit the link in our bio or comment below to see how we can help your little one thrive and not just survive through these early months. Your baby's nervous system holds the key to their comfort and development. Let us help you unlock that today.